AskReddit by Disastrous Treat 0616. What is something that still hasn't gone back to normal after the pandemic? Cost of living. Airlines pricing, schedules, number of flights. Used car prices. Yes. This shit is insane. I need to buy my daughter a car, so I can have mine back, but I can't in good conscience spend 10k on a car with 150k miles on it. Deleted. I honestly didn't realize this until a month or two ago. I was driving home from work and thought to myself, I'll stop at the Walmart near me and grab a 6-pack of beer only to see that they close at 11 PM now. I've never been one for late night shopping, but I always knew most, if not all, Walmarts were 24 hours. Came as a surprise. I called my cell phone company customer service and they still had the message, due to these extraordinary and trying times, hold times are longer than normal. Please listen to all options as our menu has recently changed despite being the same for 10+ years. In-person appointments for many services. I tried to do a follow-up appointment with my dermatologist to avoid taking half a day off of work. Substitute plans are a bitch, but they would not let me, unfortunately. Since it was a follow-up for a visit for a flare-up of psoriasis, she spent less than 2 minutes in the office looking at it. I took half a day off work and drove an hour 10 minutes to the visit from work. And then an hour and 20 minutes home. I was so mad that it couldn't be a phone call or video appointment. A lot of places that reduced services for health and safety seem to have decided it saves too much money to bring back. Many hotels aren't doing daily service. Fast casual restaurants are leaning heavily towards takeout and delivery. And also reduced hours. Stores that used to be 24h now close at midnight, and those that closed at midnight now close at 10 or 11 PM. Places closed fitting rooms and instead of reopening them, they just tore them out. Clothing brands differ so much in sizes, I need to be able to try them on before I buy them. Fitting rooms are the only reason I still go to brick and mortar stores instead of online shopping. These places are taking away one of the only advantages they still have over online shopping. How do they not see that? Supermarkets that used to be open 24/7. This is a good one. Somehow pharmacy hours have also shortened, too. We are experiencing higher than normal call volume. The wait time at your local emergency department is 4h53 minutes. Are you sure you need to be here? Or please use our online portal, which I wouldn't fucking use if it answered my question. Tip function on every debit machine. Like McDonald's or Booster Juice. Seriously, this. I worked in hospitality for 20 years. I'm a very good tipper if I'm actually being served. But now I'm basically expected to tip everyone for everything? It pisses me off because the fucking employers should be paying their staff a decent wage, not pandering for tips. Don't even get me started on self-checkouts, lol. Getting a GP appointment. The fact that the only time you can get an appointment is if you're not sick absolutely infuriates me. The way many people behave in public truly became unhinged during the pandemic and shows no signs of slowing down. Yup. My answer is people. They became unhinged and hateful and unpredictable a few months into the pandemic, and it's only gotten worse from there. Friendships, relationships. It's not that we don't want to spend time together, but we all seem so collectively exhausted and isolated. I'm working hard to get out there, but we're all just tired. I'm surprised I had to scroll down so far to find this. I don't remember ever being this isolated before. I've been finding different ways to cope, but I miss the times when friends were pretty much always around. I don't know how to explain it, but a general heaviness in the air. Attendance at schools. The number of absences is like nothing I've seen in over 30 years in education. and behavior in schools has completely gone to pieces, as well as children's resilience at doing anything remotely challenging. The cost of things. I'm surprised this isn't higher up. The cost of everything has gone insane. Double, triple within the space of a few years. It started with supply chain issues. Obviously, they can get away with it, so it isn't going to change. I don't know about y'all, but the sense of time is messed up. It's like 3 years of my timeline is missing. Same. I keep getting 2021 and 2022 mixed up. Anything but the most major events could have happened either year IDK. Buffets. Salad bars. Prices for plywood, and a lot of other lumber and building materials. Oof yeah, my mum wanted to build her dream home since before the pandemic, but by the time she had the land and the plans to do this it was 2020 and the cost of building materials shot up. She's given up now. The number of serving staff in restaurants. Those people have moved on to jobs that treat them better. My manager said in plain English, if you call out sick I'm hiring people to replace you. Social energy. I have so much less now, and I was already a hermit before. A lot of people seem to be in the same boat. I literally feel like making new friendships feels pointless now, and I have zero energy to keep in touch with some people. 2020 to 2022 felt like a blur. I feel 3 years younger than I actually am, like life just went on hiatus for 3 years but we still all got older. Today I was filling out a form and had to write my cat's birth date. I thought she was born last year, so that's 2019? Dart. Oh, shit. We're finishing 2023 already. Doctor or medical appointments. The amount of doctors who have decided to do online appointments in lieu of face-to-face is horrible. My daughter is on a waitlist for pulmonology. They said the first app available will probably be virtual. For pulmonology. I said, how are you going to listen to lung sounds over a computer or phone? They have no answer, just asked if I wanted on the waitlist. My psychiatrist prefers doing virtual appointments, but state law requires that all diagnoses and treatments occur with the patient at a valid originating site. So you have to physically show up to the office to sit in an empty room and have your session over a Zoom call. It's absolutely asinine. For quite a few people, overall mental health. People's general attitude towards life took a heavy downturn during the pandemic and I don't really see anyone bouncing back from that. People are far more prone to outbursts of anger and frustration. It seems like there's an added edge to interactions that I don't think was ever there before. It's like being at a large party or other celebration. Then there's a very loud noise that stops all the conversations for an instant. The mood at the gathering changes. Does not seem to have changed back this time. My mental health. Same. I have started having so much anxiety these past few years. Definitely a generalized anxiety, fear, and sadness in society. This will naturally cause people to be in an almost constant fight or flight. The pandemic really kicked off a nasty chain reaction that I unfortunately don't see slowing down anytime soon. I hope I'm wrong. The use of delivery apps taking over the food service industry. I was using those apps until I realized, in addition to delivery fee, service fee and tip which they list up front, they are inflating the costs of my groceries and food. Instacart is charging me up to $1 more per item. DoorDash was inflating costs 10-15% per item. I got a receipt with my groceries and it was $70 cheaper than what I paid for the delivery with a $15 tip, $10 service fee and $8 delivery fee. I got so mad. Haven't used Instacart or DoorDash since noticing this. Those 10 parking spots at the front of every store's parking lot that are reserved for curbside even though they're always empty. My weight. Same. Too much depression eating here. With everyone staying home all time, a lot of childcare services went out of business. As people go back to the office, the supply hasn't recovered, which, along with a bunch of other pre-pandemic problems, has created a massive childcare shortage. Fucking this. I graduated college and started working my professional career in 2020. Emergency healthcare. Super fun times lol. And I swear I've developed health problems from the ever constant stress I was under as a single mom trying to build a professional reputation while making sure my kids had reliable care, especially since I had only recently started working, so I hadn't accrued much PTO. Not to mention the $2,000 cost. I had to miss work constantly because the kids couldn't go to daycare, so I couldn't afford shit because I still had to pay the full rate. People driving sanely. Yo, other than groceries, this is probably what I've noticed most. Like, it's the most dangerous thing you do on a regular basis. Hotel housekeeping. Traffic. Traffic is all day MF. I really noticed after 2021 or so that a lot of people's phone addictions got way worse. And my theory is that is impacting driving more than we realize. BC half the people are also scrolling Instagram while operating a vehicle. They don't even realize what they're doing. The behavior of people. While not everyone, far more people are just demanding, rude, and downright aggressive in public now if they don't get their own way. Yeah, that has definitely made me more of a defensive asshole to people acting out of line. I've had zero issue telling people who are being rude to go fuck themselves out in public compared to any time before the pandemic. Whereas before I would feel weird about saying something like that. People have become a lot bolder with their bullshit since then. My social battery. It actually made me think of it more as a social muscle. I've always been fairly introverted, but some of my distinctly extrovert friends said that they get drained by social interactions much more quickly than pre-pandemic. So presumably if you deliberately exercise the social muscle regularly it gets stronger. But I've never been good at exercise anyway, so it's all irrelevant. The real estate market. Education. A lot of kids lost 2 years of school. And the social development that goes along with it. I'm a teacher. The number of kids I saw do a 180-degree personality shift was crazy. Grocery prices. Public transit ridership. In part because a lot of workers now realize they don't need to be in the office every day, and are using the power of the market to refuse to do so. If they paid for the commute, I'd gladly go into work. If it's an hour each way, that's 2 hours a day I'm technically working to get to the job, and it's unpaid. Brick and mortar stores. Many of the local small businesses that didn't survive the shutdown and the ensuing economic slowdown haven't, and probably won't, come back. Even the shopping malls, the ones that survived, are operating with reduced staff and reduced hours because many people have shifted their shopping habits over to Amazon rather than old school in-person shopping. Small business owners were hurt badly and haven't fully recovered, so whenever you can, please shop local. The fuck-ups that have been hired as warm bodies to keep restaurants open while professionals left the industry. There are still a few of us, but fuck man. I worked in the service industry for almost 20 years. I do not blame anyone for leaving restaurant work during the pandemic. However, service now is so bad everywhere I go. All of the career waiters, bartenders found different work and left a void that hasn't been filled. It sucks too because food prices have simultaneously skyrocketed, so going out to eat is insanely expensive while the actual experience has gone downhill. Water fountains. Hope. I used to somehow manage to be optimistic even at the worst of times. Now I don't see the point. Everything sucks and I just end up disappointed anyways. Hope is paralyzingly now. It does more harm than good. Kids. I'm a teacher and they are not okay. I'm a young adult and we are not okay. Fucking manners. An intolerance of slave wage service industry jobs. People were fired and forced to figure something else out, and that legacy continues. They stayed with their figured it out positions, and tell others to beware. It's not a bad thing. House parties. I haven't been to one, been invited to one, hosted one, or heard of one since. Before, it was a regular thing. Even having a few drinks at a braai, or barbecue as it's more commonly known, has become a rarer occurrence these days. Fucking air travel. Now, every plane is overbooked, security is a clusterfuck, and everyone is pissed off. Airlines in general seem to have no repercussions for shitty and horrible service flight conditions. I once waited 2 hours on a plane after landing because they couldn't get the air bridge to connect. 2 hours of, any minute now before they had the brilliant idea to put steps down. This caused more than half of the passengers to miss their connecting flights. Total CF.